everyone, Tasha here for the Scrapbooks Blessings Club. Today's video I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to make these fun little shaker tags. These are perfect for the holidays and really easy to make. So I'm going to flip the camera around and give you a quick tutorial. I'll talk to you soon. Everyone, so the first thing we're going to do is select some dies that you're going to be using as your frame. You can use a circle, a square, a rectangle, whatever you choose or whatever you have. I'm going to be working with a square. I like the way that the square looks. Oh, there's a little tag thing. Let me remove that. One recommendation I do have, though, is that you make sure that there's a big enough space between the sizes. You see how this gives me a nice frame? This will allow the foam tape to have some, room rather than making it really skinny. It also helps when you're when you assemble to keep the sequins in place. So I do recommend that you have a nice frame. So just kind of line it up. And then step one would be to take the biggest of the two and then use some heavy cardstock, at least an 80-pound weight. I'm using 110 because I like my back to be really secure. You'll punch that out and it looks like so. And then this will be the base. So you want this to be nice and secure because this will be where you type your message or your to and from, and you're also building your tag up from this card. So this is step one, is to take your die, your largest one, and cut out a base. The next step will be to cut out with the same die. You're going to want to take your little, your smaller die inside of it to make your frame, which I find helpful. You see all my tape back here, is that I line it up in the back and then I take some washi tape. Let me just get it going. Okay, so I take like a piece of washi tape and then I just line up how I want the border to be, and then I just tape it. This way I can use it for all of my cutting and it'll stay the same size. To get that stickiness off of the tape, you can just use your powder tool and just kind of rub it, and it'll kind of like dull that adhesive to make it not so sticky on your paper. But this works really well. And when I'm making tags, I'm going to make quite a few at one time because I find them easier to mass produce. So once you get done cutting out all of your main squares, you can do this and then have it set up for all of the ones you want the double cuts. Okay, so then we're going to be cutting the double cut, which will give you the frame. So then your frame will look like so. You'll also get the little square part. Let me just show you what you get in the middle. You also get this little square part, obviously, because it pops out of here. We don't need this part for this project, but definitely save it because it's a good size, and you can also make something smaller out of it. Okay, so far we have our base and we have our main frame. The next double cut we're going to want to do is with our pattern paper. Now you can use any pattern paper you choose. I'm going to be using some of the holiday papers that I have, some of the scraps, because this is a great project to use scraps with. So like this one's really cute with the Merry Christmas. So I think I'm going to make some with more traditional Christmas colors this time. So I did punch them out. And you're going to want the center part and then also the border part. So you see how I have all of these choices of colors? So those are all ready to go. And then I have all of my frames. So then this will be layering onto here just to make it stronger again. Because we want to make sure that our shaker card doesn't fall apart on the gift or in transit. So this is just my way of ensuring that everything stays together. So again, so we punched out our frame, our base, and then our center cards and the frame decorative part of it. Okay, so this way we have most of our stuff ready. I like to pile everything together. This way I can assemble a lot of them at one time. The next step that you'll be using your frame for, you can take them apart. You can actually do this before you do the double part as well, is punching out your acetate or your packaging. So I do use acetate in mine. I use a stronger and thicker one. I'll link it below. And so you're going to want to punch that out of the larger one. I like to use the largest die just to keep everything in line, and it really does work well when we're assembling. So we have that. But again, you can also use packaging. I save all my packaging, and you can use like those clear bags that your stamps or something comes in, and you can punch it out and it works just fine. The next step in the process is to stamp out the image that you're going to want in the front of your card. I'm using the cute little reindeer from the Craft and Desert Divas Christmas Cheer set. This is a set that let me just get it out. This is a set that's used for like planners and so on. But again, I love the way that these images kind of have that way that's cut off. So it works great for these type of tags. So we're going to take the little reindeer. Love the cute reindeer. And I'm going to use my Misty just because I can double stamp. Because again, I'm not the best stamper. I'm going to reach over, grab some ink. I'll use... Oh, I thought I had black. Hold on one sec. Okay, so I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black. Just going to stamp it up. Oops. That works pretty good. I'll do one more stamp just to make sure it's nice and dark. And there we go. So now that I have my image stamped, if I were making a whole bunch of these, I would stamp all my images on the paper and use up all the paper. Once you have the image the way you like it, then you just have to cut it out, whether you fussy cut it, use a die. I don't think there's dies with this set. So if you fussy cut it out or use maybe like your brother Scan and Cut Pro, that's all you really need to do. Let me grab mine. And once you do that, they're going to look like so. Okay. Okay, now that we got our little reindeers cut out, we're just going to give them a quick color. And you can do any colors you want. I'm just going to do some simple coloring. These images are so cute. Gonna give them a red nose. Color his antlers in a different color. And again, you can color with anything that you like to use. Colored pencils, you can paint. You can use any type of marker you have. It does not matter. They are cute no matter what you're using. I just want to give the antlers a little more. Okay, so there we go. So we have one little reindeer down. And you can spend more time coloring it or do whatever you want to do to it. I'm just going to add some glitter to the top. And I'll probably do that at the end, actually. I'll add some more glitter and possibly some glossy accents to his nose. But again, super easy, super cute. And now we're going to move on to assembling. Okay, so we're going to start with the base. If you want to stamp anything on the back, you would do it at this time. But it's going to be the flat part then. Then you're going to take your little squares. Where did I put my little squares? Okay, so you're going to decide what you want to use for your squares. I'm going to use a green one, green sparkle. And then you're just going to take some of your glue. I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue. I just think it works really well. And then we're just going to line it up in the center as best as we can. Oops. Man, I make a mess of this glue. Okay. Oops. There we go. All right. Okay, so that's all lined up. The next step you're going to do is glue your frames together. Remember how we punched out all of these white frames? And then we're going to pick a top to coordinate with it. I think I'm going to do a plaid. So I think that'll look really cute. And we're going to just glue it. Okay. And then you're going to want to line up your frames. Part. Okay. Make sure you press down on all of the sides. And I think this is going to look really nice. Okay. So then your next step will be to adhere the acetate or the clear plastic. And for this, I recommend not using a liquid glue because I just don't think that the liquid glue really works that well with plastic or acetate. I would recommend like one of the tape runners or glue runners. I'm going to be using this one. And I just get it in like one of the bigger packs at Joann's when I have a really good coupon. So, and we're just going to run it along the sides. Again, this is why having a nice border is so important, because you're going to want that glue to make sure that you get that tape runner all the way around so that your acetate doesn't lift up anywhere. Oops. Let me just get it. Okay, so we have it all ready. Grab my little pre-cut film. And then you're just going to measure it up. And since we use the same die, everything measures up perfectly. Just give it a good firm press along the sides. And then you have that nice plastic all ready to go. Okay, the next step that you're going to want to do is use your foam tape to make a barrier. When I'm mass producing these, I cut my foam tape, you know, to the size that I need, and then I just use this backing part as like a guide to cut all the strips once I get them down perfectly. So that's just a helpful tip. Okay, and then for this one, we're going to want a double layer. So we're going to cut this tape in half. And then we're just going to lie it down. And you see how it's a little off? We'll just cut that. And I peel it off. And I stick the other piece on top of it. This gives it a nice thick border. And then I'll use this piece as a guide to do the other side. So I'm just going to cut the other side. Okay, so I got all four corners lined up, and you see how it's solid all the way. There's no opening, so this one needs to be pressed down a little bit. But overall, it's just a nice solid frame. That's what we want to make sure that our sequins and our bits don't fall through. The next step will be use your powder tool and just get some of that adhesive off the sides. So we want to rub at the little tape and just kind of get rid of some of that static. And then the sequins I'm going to use for this project are the Craftin' Desert Divas Holly Jolly Mix. I love it because it has the green, red, and silver, and also those little stars, which I think will coordinate perfect with the paper I selected. So we just fill it up. The nice mix. And then we're just going to adhere it to our base. And again, since I used all the same dies, everything lines up perfectly. Then you just give it a nice rub. And there you go. So then it just all shakes around. Also, if you want to add like twine or something to hang it with, you can add another piece to this back to make sure that it's nice and secure. Let me show you how I do mine. Okay, so I got a nice piece of embroidery, or not embroidery, I guess embroidery. Some of that floss that you just get at the craft store. So you're going to want to kind of have it centered. And then what I do is I use some tape. Hold on. Okay, just get some tape. Kind of keeps it from moving around. And then we're just going to use our runner again. Okay. Oh, needs a little more on top. And then we'll take another one of those squares and just line it up. This way it's really strong and it's not going anywhere. And then the last part is just adhering your little critter or whatever Christmas or themed decoration you want to put on your shaker to the front. And there you go. And then you have a fun shaker card that you made yourself. It's really strong because we use the thick paper and everything's measured the same way, so we don't have any gaps. And see how nice that looks? And then you can just shake it and adhere it, write your own message on the back or stamp to and from. And then another thing you can do is on the acetate itself, you can use StazOn, or like if you have maybe some embossing you want to do. I use StazOn quite a lot on acetate. And then you can just stamp a greeting if you choose to. But I think they look cute just like this as well. So again, this was my simple tutorial on how to make really cute shaker cards, or shaker tags actually. And I hope you guys give it a try. Leave me a comment below, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and check out the Scrapbook's Blessings Club for all the supplies used. I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.